Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the first day of the month of March 2024. It is Friday of the second week of Lent. It is the 13th day of the Lenten season. Back at TFS this morning, again, cloudy morning, but it's supposed to rain a little bit later on, but it's still nicely cool for the last part of winter. And spring comes in March 21st, 22nd, somewhere around there. So we're still in the last throes of winter, so enjoy it as we can over here. Our readings for today on this Friday of the second week of Lent, we begin looking at the great saga of the life of Joseph. Joseph, the son of Jacob, who is given the amazing, wonderful Technicolor Dreamcoat of Andrew Lloyd Webber fame, one of Andrew Lloyd Webber's first sort of biblical musicals. He actually only had two, Joseph and then Jesus Christ Superstar. But Joseph became the favorite son of Jacob, and Jacob showering upon Joseph favors and wonders that make his other brothers very angry and annoyed with him. And I guess that Joseph himself was not the nicest of people too. So animosity. So Jacob showing favorites, again, is a whole problem there. Too many boys, maybe it's another problem. So too many sons. So all of this, again, amounts itself to the brothers deciding to do away with Joseph, to get rid of their brother because he is just so obnoxious, and they want Jacob to notice them too. And so the whole plot against Joseph, and what we have today, and the decision not to kill him. Again, Reuben, the head, the oldest of the brothers, basically says, don't do that, because the other brothers want to kill him. But Reuben says, no, don't kill him, but let's sell him to somebody. And so, again, this traveling band of nomads, Ishmaelites, again, coming from Ishmael, the other son of Abraham, because Abraham has two, back in the beginning of Genesis, they sell Joseph to the Ishmaelites, again, for some pieces. I think it is 30 pieces of silver. So allusions to Jesus, again, where the beginning of the 12 tribes will come from are these 12 tribes of Jacob's sons. So the 12 sons of Jacob will lead each to their own family, becoming the 12 tribes of Israel. And then the 12 apostles kind of not replacing them, but kind of succeeding them as people who have the relationship with God that has been meant to be spread to others. But for the moment, again, this terrible story of a family in division, a family in distress, a family where there isn't enough attention being given to where attention should be given, and the cost of favoritism and the cost of neglect and those kinds of things like that. And yet it is from this line of Jacob, it is from the line of Joseph, that again the Messiah comes. So it shows us that even in this very difficult kind of family that decide to not kill their brother, but at least to get rid of him by selling him off into some kind of slavery, is not irredeemable. That God can work with this, and that God's plan is a part of showing how in the most distressing and sad of situations, there is God at work, and that's a wonderful consolation. It's a wonderful reality and a wonderful truth for all of us, because it isn't as if our brokenness and our failures push us far from God. It's where God perhaps comes closest to us in those times, and not just when we do everything right and do everything well and what have you. In Matthew's gospel today, I did look it up, so I made sure it was Matthew's gospel. We have this wonderful moment, and it's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. It's in the synoptics, in which Jesus finally loses his patience with the scribes and the Pharisees, who are constantly either rejecting him or putting up opposition or trying to be contrary and antagonistic, to him and what his mission and message is. And so this great parable of this king who gives a vineyard to some servants to tend to, and when he comes for the produce, when he comes to ask for the produce of the vineyard, the servants decide they're not going to give it to him. They want to keep it for themselves. And so the king sends servants after servants after servants, and the servants either kill them, beat them up, whatever it is. So again, why did this king give this vineyard to these servants to begin with? Because they seem quite unreliable, but the king does anyway. And then the king says, I will send my son because they will respect my son. And then the servants see that and say, this is the heir. If we kill him, we will inherit the vineyard, which is a very strange way of illogical thinking, because there would be no legal precedent for them to inherit any of the vineyard. And so they kill the son. And then the question is raised, phrased to those who are listening to this parable, what will that king do? What will that master of the vineyard do? And they say forthrightly, well, he's going to go and kill these servants and and inflict upon them a wretched death for what they did in killing his son. And basically Jesus says, well, if you try to kill me, the same thing's going to happen to you. It's this idea of reject or die. And what you have will be taken away from you, and all those kinds of things like that. It's a very stark kind of message, that is given at this point in Jesus's ministry. Reject me and die. And that is something that does not seem in keeping with the rest of Jesus's kind of peaceful, loving message, but yet it is said. And the idea is always that this message lingers in the minds and perhaps even in the hearts, of those who continue to accompany Jesus and who continue to antagonize him up to the point of his death, when actually the son is killed. And what will happen, after that point? What will befall the people who clamor for the death of the son now? And this parable comes back in many ways to haunt them. What will happen is what we'll see, which is why Lent takes us, on this great journey of trying to understand this God and who this God is for us, and what this God, the lengths to which this God will go to be who this God must be for us. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God, a continued blessed Lent. May the Lord give you his peace.